City Media TV so and then so bombardier and like Thomas Beam send ya wade bia ye no no ye ba be church send ye mrane ko and your my beating your problems are ye face like Thomas wa obi church you me amete ye frame Beyebenwo blue like Thomas ye ma kwaba
yo Echia obia. First and foremost, greetings to everyone watching us this evening. Today we'll be looking at how to obtain sponsorship license for your business. And as we do always, we are going to introduce the topic in English, and then eventually we'll be speaking a lot of Twi for the benefit of our Ghanaian friends who have been very dedicated and been following us and have shown keen interest in this program. Now, so without wasting my time, I'm going to introduce the topic for today. Now, we'll be looking at how to obtain sponsorship license for your business. And this emanates from the Immigration Act 2021, which have superseded the EU regulations. So if you own a business, obviously you can apply for what you call sponsorship license in order to be able to allocate sponsorship certificates to skilled workers. So the procedure for obtaining sponsorship license is very, very simplistic. You first have to establish the nature of business that you are trading in. You could own a company, you could be a sole trader, you could be a charity organization, or even a church. And church, all of them, or a ecclesiastical organization, they all fall under charity organizations. Now, these institutions have special right and they are equally entitled to apply for a sponsorship license. Now, so the license, it is a certificate that allows you to issue sponsorship certificates to sponsor skilled workers, either from abroad or within the UK. And normally this license has validity period. It's normally valid for 4 years. But the most important thing is that the application fee is very, very, very low. Now, to get a license, depending on the size of the business, you could pay as low as 1,476. But having obtained the license, there are other requirements that you need to continue to satisfy. And there are also eligibility requirements to satisfy. For example, if you want to obtain a license as a charity organization, then you probably will have to register your organization with the Charity Commission. Now, once you have registered your organization with the Charity Commission and have also fulfilled relevant tax requirements, then whoever is the director for that organization, or what they call the authorizing officer for that institution, because when you want to apply for sponsorship license, you need to have what they call authorizing officer, who should be a member of staff or either the director or any of the members of staff of the organization. And you also need to have a level 1 user, and presumably to also have a legal representative. Now, so if you have authorizing officer, then the point is that when you are making this application, Home Office will be looking at the eligibility requirements in terms of the suitability of whoever is applying for this license. So they'll be looking at whether that person have unspent conviction, whether there have ever been a breach of the immigration rules, or that business have ever had licenses that have been revoked. So these are the criteria or the requirements that Home Office will be looking at in order to approve your sponsorship license. But I know that when we had this coronavirus, a lot of us have opened up businesses. And last week we did a topic on skilled workers, how they can migrate to the UK with the intention of settling here permanently. But that topic will not be complete without looking at how employers can get this license in order to help to recruit these people. Because for you to bring that person in as a skilled worker, that person needs to have an employer. And that employer needs to have a license. So that's why we are doing this topic today, or we are discussing this topic today. Now, having given this background introduction in English, I'll quickly switch to Twi, and then when I've finished translating this in Twi, our host Diva Blue will take us through some of the questions that might be relevant to this topic. For kakra me person me can say, ene ye pese ye ne moye discussion e fan ya kwan a ofa so a obenya sponsorship license. Na him say ye bebre na bi adwuma, ebi wo care company, obi wo restaurant, obi kura import niama, obi kura bi construction business, ebi a wo construction business abi obi hia surveyor, obi wa kura mpo wa bi company wo krom ha say in fact say company no is based in the UK but o si diamond ko for Ghana. Yenti ya wadwuma horo do bebre a wo krom ha say either say ebi no kura mpo na adwuma na wo ha na mo branch wo Ghana a mo so ye adwuma wo no mo ebi wo so company nso no wo ye adwuma no ko a say nti sa companies ni nyina no ye betumi aboa age license amam na sa license no sa ogi a e ma ho kwan ma utumi ade obi efi amano ne eba ha sei seni pa ko no ba be ye adwuma ama company no kana na sa the last time I kan no na e se o ye the FN labor market test sisi a enam so mo twa mu nti no so onye nya sa sponsorship license no pe eno an say obetumi issue certificate ama ni pa ko na wode no ebeba no sa ni pa ko no be application within 3 months. Yeah, the man application fee is very, very low, about 526. Nani pa kono abe ka ho ha sei. Na otumi aye adwuma na ma. Sansa na mo to nwom, mo bobo sports ni ade. So wo team wo ni na ye wo license to be je. Enti ene sa ade na pese ye discuss. Enti wo bia wo tie e bia se wo nua bi e wo company. E bi kura wo nua bi pese oba kru ma se bia wan ka bi wo company. And I say ye de sadi we be tuja. Because I say Ghana for no emre bia na say oh na me okoware me yere. Na me nua no bia oko adopt that be ye wo businesses wo also our na so no. Ko for Ghana ntumi nya adwuma wetumi de o mo aba mo so abaye adwuma through your business no. E bi wo kwa na aduane bi obaye no kwa no obi ani otumi ye say aduane kise de odin pa ko na fi Ghana ba. And the chef, you know, I can't wait just a bit my chances. I'm on a back room as you know, bear surge man amount. And once or bear establish a company. Now I treat you our task, not the so you know who I can't. Now I am come up. Now I guess I'll answer some. Into your per se. And then no more tier no. Say host to not be signing questions, you are no more questions than will be said. Now sign you, man.
Mr. Thomas, yet I see the bray, Ellen Chichi, while they are mine. Na the edikan pese me bisa say what is visa sponsorship license and no I say visa sponsorship license no e dey na friend is
okay visa sponsorship license no I said there me fan say go for what can license obi kro ye security obeti as license na be security no I say onya license so the license is there what can say onya license na visa sponsorship license a license a wogi a mile kwan now to make Bobby manage visa back room and say. Now service sponsorship licenses are available to businesses. So mechanic businesses now. The entire may use the word business because it can say business a bit my sole trader, bit my company, bit my partnership, bit my even charity organization. And sir, a Juma Hodroni Nana will bit my construction near or sink of 4 diamond Mukumasi. And it is our companies ni nano, and as our business ni nano. Or much me apply for sir license no, our home office, and a friend sponsorship license. The sponsorship license no, and more crime to me as sponsor for. Allocate more on to me the application about Kumasi, a shared money.
Not just say, as an obey Yepsa business, you have to register your business first. Yes, sir. As son are waiting me, yes, sir.
Yes,
so we register our business, they are wanting me.
Yes, a very good question. Now, go for what business law has, and one back country say, and your business be an say register. If you say sole trader, won't register, but over file tax returns on the idea. But all companies, for example, as well register a company, no, as well making sure say what 3 hour tax, and which means as well making sure say Mrana Wokum has say say charity organization, charity now wa, your charity commission or no every regulatory or charity organization. We also or charity, and so register with charity commission. Internal sano, won't me find what is our license no. We are sorry, or bomb pie cake is on register sorry no. Oh, now so I register so now wait to make a farm minister. Baby, Bompire, my young Bible, and also I won't answer one more. And as we go about obey us, so ain't you know business no includes a sorrow for an omuna to me, as long as on my relevant registration is somewhere.
Okay, so what is eligibility criteria for sponsorship licenses now?
Yes, the TNS say. Company no person and a business person get license na you beat the eligibility criteria. I said they all quite person as a spouse and whatever your criteria no. So we get license one, and this are what they call unspent conviction. Be a work with fiancé. We are criminal, and he said normally no. So why a criminal that one your friend your cast unspent. Like I say. And as your life, be a what back from prison, but still now where you know rehabilitation period no expire and be good. And I say we will be and I say be a white lances in Ibida, no more revoke. A revoke be a 1 year cry and so ye. It you know that's a second eligibility requirement. And third. Said the market, so business necessarily register. We make sure so well register business. Say charity organization, I register with charity commission. So your company, I file tax returns, corporation tax, what we are now. Because all quiet application now, there will be a firm either your asset or turnover. Okay. And normally determine the nature of we are ultimately licenses are ultimately.
Okay. So what type of licenses are available?
Yes. There were 2 main types of licenses. There were license for workers and there were licenses for temporary workers. Now, license for workers and a bit my skilled workers and a bit my nurses for the like occupation shortage for them. And to the let's take for example say be a care company. Now care company no be a and you be over here over here nurse on site. Okay. Over here be a IT for be running yama. Over here some management positions, managers. And no no over to me apply like worker license no. Now what they are sponsored by Koloma Africana and I say Nigeria, but we are not or they are not based in I'm a care company no. And you temporary worker license. And finally say or more charity organization be one ma or then go for to me if you Ghana eba. Some of the my charity do a call be to me be outside London. Be a sorry be a home to me or no money a day, voluntary work. Almost I be a bit my up to 1 year and a temporary worker license. We will call a bobo and also I'll be a born or Baba be a Baba born baby 6 months and a temporary worker license. Until both worker license and temporary worker license depend on a human Baba.
Oh yeah, that's it. So you see, besides what is sponsorship management rule?
Yes, the TNS say before so person will apply for license and now and say normally we best set up sponsorship management system. The sponsorship management system, the TNSA, and say when you be a friend authorizing officer, on a allocate certificate na manko for na ya approval license na wie no. On a allocate certificate na man so as soon as he manager, some manager and ya allocate certificate ya man no man the application. A figure number.
Okay.
And say when you a friend level 1 user and a contact person, so be a home office, a person more contact company no nancy be a you know do on number some verification and inquiries so munya will be on the contact no. And I saw munya do a representative say few and fancy have a pharmacy as a lawyer seminar representative mention by access to a sponsorship management system no. And na combine the sponsorship management rule no so the be a ubetumi maintain your license no because if you are nipa kon bi a ordinary buy ko dwane or responsibility to report say nipa kon buy and adwuma no anye o and yes I could have effect on your license and na the form sponsorship management way no.
Okay, that's it. So what is sponsorship certificate? Sponsorship certificate so no say
yes. Yes, sponsorship certificate, you know. When you have a sponsorship license, you know, and not allow say, what me do be but before I do be I say, oh my sponsorship certificate, and this sponsorship certificate, just electronic paper with numbers. A very sure if I date of birth, the phone name near, and better say, be a Kofi, a senior man, made it certificate, a man say. On fa emrana on my UK has seen on your company no. Then another sponsorship certificate there just electronic document contain details of applicant na okay application na abeka okuma say no and as so hana or switch here and also by allocate man and then certificate no.
Okay, na say in case you say what application is you refuse you do sika be ma wana.
Yes, you will be beat to say immigration skills charge. And also, I don't say refuse a better fund. I said you will be a NHS charger. You refuse application a better fund in the Sikamano. And for example, if you decide making a charge, you refuse a better fund this as scanner. I'm all back.
Okay, now, answer na your the license never bound. And you may be how much answer no more the license now.
Yes. Almost when your man be said a mechanic and umbrella so say a business as a register, while register na, and so file or tax while file na, what tax say uchiano, what ya. A friend is saying, what you man and Casansano, what is the structure? And sometimes when home office will require to me pay a visit to come and look at the business because we bet man say, Cocoabum say, oh, me or company, major license. It is sometimes occasionally, you know, if you go and meet me a Jumano, say, I'm passing Jumano or Hana. It is winning Yama or more checking.
Okay, that's it. The license near the more we are near the amount. On bit me as I add.
Yes, a very good question. The amount license is valid for 4 years and renewable, but huge responsibility. And it is a one to me I manage license no one for fairly so that make a management requirements na or me to my revoke license no. And for example, so be a could you buy so no buy juma could you buy a dwane and so my home office yeah where say could you buy no dwane into I said yeah ma besa yeah ma conditions no. For example, be a mo be vested besa almost about man juma man yesi and the license the amount of conditions were into one meet our one satisfy one maintain our conditions now one fulfill conditions now it may revoke license no.
Okay, the certificates of sponsorship no sikabi wo ho SCT ana.
Yes, bear 526 because normally no say okay certificate na was car one which me tria but and also to me it depended the type of I think say one more temporary one, maybe it might be £122, and it dependent type of certificate.
And how can you upgrade your sponsorship rating from a lower to upper upgrade?
Yes, Say the license in a mawa, let's say we are a very small company and a watch license, license na more rating, you read A and I read B. And it's all per se. Normally no. So when you read A now, which me or right to just continue to allocate certificates, limited restrictions. And to the TNS say, so per se, we agree to rating now, our home office action plan or I'll be full. You pay for it about £1,476, which we says Ghana. Now I follow our action plan. And so when you be on my bay, we send your money now, which me have critique or license rating to about A. The advantage of that is say amount to me allocate certificate. Without say maybe I know they will be checking so many things and I say we need delays so we issue certificate and there is so when you have license and better so better try so buy upgrade for example say B no to about A grade so that better bit me why issue certificates converted certificates
na me patrol and so you been that grade A no ni B ni.
Yes, so then I may check to grade A now, for example.
A dear Ben out to me, B into me.
Yes, for example, say A no, who could A now? Wait to me. What more the lances now? Who say the lances no matter. Lances are no entitles you to say with my issue certificate. Now, what will be about? And me find and say, okay, vacancy about that, you know, we could A grade license. And one say me management system now may allocate certificate to bring that person. I'm a person at the number. So we could A grade now. I'll probably have to do application to give all the details to home office. Now home office and now I more check of the person and all that and sana. That's the difference.
That is who A now.
Who are more freedom, yes.
And our authorities to
more
do that.
To do
let's say yes, upgrade.
Upgrade.
Let's say one thing, and one say we got na.
Why
type what they na what they what they are. Oh, lawyer that CBB say and then so about bechichi mu. In sense any da near yana no. A toda ye mubi motibrofo, ye monso de yana. Your brother no just say it's also kakra my inti send ye yakin ube pese ube sign achim brofo kakra the questions are no bizarre and I say why do you say they were kana
yes I think so a bit of summary in English. Listeners, thank you all for always being available to view and to listen to us, and I'm very grateful for your patience as we were explaining most of these things in tree. Now, all in all, what I've been saying is that there are eligibility requirements, suitability requirements, costs for making the application, and then there is also management systems in place, and this is a huge opportunity for most of us who own businesses, and I'm particularly here because I know that when this coronavirus became so serious and government was providing support under the pandemic support scheme, a lot of us who had businesses that were required to have registered them didn't register, and we missed out on so many things. So I don't want most of us to miss out on this opportunity, because this particular sponsorship license, it is rare. It is something that once you own a company or a business, I should say. The reason why I like using the word business, because when I say business, it stands there for those who are sole traders, who have partnership businesses, who have companies, who have charity organizations, even those who have schools in this country, nurseries, who require childminders. Now, there is opportunity for all these businesses to apply for what they call sponsorship license. The only condition is that when you are applying for this license, you need to certify the criteria as set out from the beginning of this discussion. And then you need to also have a management system in place, an authorizing officer, and a level 1 user and a representative. So what these people do, they have key roles. For example, you have to have a contact person that Home Office can contact if they have any issues and then they want to seek clarification or get some feedback from your company. You also need to have authorizing officer whose duty will be to authorize the certificate to be allocated to people who want to come and join your company from abroad, or if you have got a skilled worker who has a particular visa who want to switch. Now, you could just simply allocate this certificate to that person to switch, and then you can employ that person and then renew that person's visa. The license is normally 4 years. The validity is 4 years, and the charge depends on the size of the business. Normally, if your business has about 10 million turnover, then below that is called small or medium. Or if you have an asset of about 5 million, then below it is a small business, and those above have what they call large businesses. So depending on the category of your business, you will be eligible to make a license application or sponsorship application for a license to sponsor your skilled workers. And I also said that there are 2 types of licenses. There is a worker license and then temporary worker license. The difference between the two is that with a local license, you can get that license and then recruit managers, accountants, IT professionals, surveyors, all these people who are coming to work for you permanently. Or in fact, those who own a church, and if the church is registered with the Charity Commission and then you want to make application for a license to get a minister from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Cote d'Ivoire, to come and manage a branch of the church, that license is also available to these churches. And if, for example, you want to go for the temporary worker license, which is available for sportsmen, to people who are coming here to play music, for charity organizations who are recruiting voluntary workers coming from all over the world who are coming to work for up to about a year. Normally that license will be valid for you can only allocate certificate to somebody valid for 1 year. That voluntary worker will come to this country, work for about a year, and then whilst they are here, they could also switch to any category if it's permissible within that category. So these are the various licenses that we have available for businesses. But the point is that for one to apply, they will normally look at certain things like criminal record, whether the person have unspent conviction, which is still life, whether that person has been involved with Home Office and had a license that has been revoked, that is within 1 year, because normally if your license was revoked and it's more than 1 year, you are still eligible to apply. If your license was revoked within 1 year, then you probably will not be eligible to apply. So these are the stuff that we've discussed in tree. And having said this, we are going to give opportunity to people who want to ask questions, because I know that I might not have been able to explain everything in detail to everybody's satisfaction. But if there is anything that is a bit confusing in the course of the things that I've discussed, I'm willing and able to provide further clarification and answers to your questions. And our host here will be taking over, and if you guys have any questions, you can ask. We'll take a short break and wait for people to ask questions.
to City Media Law TV. So after a phone lines not to inti obi bia o wa asem bia opese obi sa bia no ye pamacho lines na bi obetimi afre. Hello.
Oh, hello. Good evening. Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Joe. I've been watching this program, and I've got a couple of questions for Solicitor. So, can I go ahead with the questions?
Yes, please.
Okay. First of all, I just want to commend Solicitor for the good work that he's doing for the African Independent community.
Oh, thank you.
I've been following him for quite a long time, and I know a couple of people. I know quite a lot of people that he has helped them to legalize their stay in this country, and I give him all the credit for what he has done for some friends, family, and people that are from Africa and Ghana, most importantly. So I just want to commend him for that.
Thank you very much for your recommendation.
Okay, so my question is in relation to this very topic. Obtaining sponsorship licenses for businesses and bringing people from Ghana or maybe employing people into the organization. What I want to know is what institution regulates that license, sponsorship license? Is it regulated by the Home Office or there's a separate institution that regulates that?
Okay, lawyer, what do you say?
Yes, it's by the Home Office, which is now called UKVI. So it is the same Home Office that issues the sponsorship license to employers. They call them employers. For the reason why they call them employers is that these licenses are meant for employers to be able to recruit people all over the world.
Okay. And I've got a second question, and that is in relation to bringing people from, let's say, back home using this route.
Okay.
If I've obtained the sponsorship certificate and I've given it to someone back home who I want to bring to this country, so with the sponsorship certificate, what are some of the eligibility criteria? What are some of the things that Home Office would take into consideration from the person who is coming to join the company in this country? What would they need? Because I know very much, or particularly, that Home Office are very strict with sponsorship, the amount of money in the person's account, and stuff like that. So would they take into consideration if that person has got a substantial amount in their bank account before they'll be eligible for this sponsorship visa, or because the person is being sponsored by someone here, so they can just issue the visa without taking into consideration how financially equipped the person is?
Yes, thank you very much. That's a very, very good question. Now, as I set out from the beginning, the employer needs to have a sponsorship license. Once the employer has got that license, it entitles the employer to issue what we call a sponsorship certificate. Now, for the employer to issue sponsorship certificate, that certificate will be either for a worker license or for temporary worker license. So let's say, for example, you are issuing the certificate for a worker, let's say a qualified nurse, for example. Then the condition is that they have job codes. All the jobs that are eligible for license or sponsor certificates have their codes. So whoever is making that application, for example, if it's a degree nurse, they will expect, we discussed that last week, that person needs to have the relevant qualification, which is a degree, the relevant English language requirement. With regards to finance, there isn't essentially financial requirement. They will probably expect you to have an amount of about maybe 1 month, because when the person comes, I must say here, when that certificate is issued, that person needs to apply within 3 months of being issue that sponsorship certificate. And that person also needs to apply for that job within 3 months before he arrives here. So it's expected that once the person comes, she will just start working straight away. So even if the person has, let's say, about 1 month finance, depending on whether the sponsor employer is saying they are going to pay for the maintenance or he's going to pay for himself, then they will expect that at least if he has about 1 month maintenance funds in his account, that should be sufficient to make that application, provided the other requirements are satisfied.
Hi, darling. Are you okay, please?
Yeah, thank you very much, Leah, for this explanation. I'm very grateful, and I'll continue to follow you and to watch more of your video and programs. And to you, the host, Diva, what's the name again? Is that Diva Blue?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. For making it very interesting as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Too.
So I'll be watching, and I will entreat others to join and or tune in all the time and watch for all these legal advices. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling and your support. We are grateful.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Etie for your pamacho, your buswa ti ha ya ready ya be picking phone calls na answer more questions more person mo decide. The phone lines no that so open. Me pacho lawyer na man na kasa no or say a sponsorship for be free. Hello. Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
It seems it's playing back. Hello.
Hello. Hello, I can hear you. Let me mute the.
Yeah, it seems your TV is on.
I muted it, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Please, your name, please, and your question.
My name is Peter.
Okay.
And my question is because the thing is, I am really excited when I hear people talk about things that, benefit the welfare of we, the Africans living in the diaspora.
Thank
you. The point, it doesn't go to any point. Sometimes there's no right or wrong answer, but some of us, we've come to learn in the culture where we've kind of begun to understand that we are all one unique people who have identified ourselves as the people of one ethnicity.
Okay.
And I really understand and appreciate it when people, someone like Thomas, a big man himself, he educates some of us into a life of knowing the laws of this country. Sorry to talk too long, but
it's all right.
Sometimes that's how one has to say it, You can't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes a book will be 100 billion words, but it only says one thing. The point is, I have interest in kind of starting my own business, like a small business. And as my friend was saying, he turned around and said, if you have a capital base of, say, for example, less than, he mentioned a certain figure.
5 million.
Plus doctor.
Hello.
In the past, sorry, I don't know if you are hearing me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
But then again, in the past, I started my own little small business venture.
Okay.
But things did not pan out smoothly before. Now, I am looking into reflecting on some of the areas where I went wrong and to reposition myself into a more solid foundation.
Okay.
Moving on, I have introspected, looked into the areas where I went wrong. Now, I want to go again into starting a reasonable, solid business venture. So I want to ask Mr. Thomas, how can we raise enough capital? Someone like me, who doesn't own so much with respect to money, in this country. I still earn reasonably well, but I don't have £100,000 to start a business. So I'm asking Mr. Thomas, it's just a, you know what I'm saying? So, like, fine, how are we going, myself, say I get a degree in business studies, for example. Who knows, I might get it tomorrow.
Okay.
But then again, it's a question, it's a connotation,
Yes, Peter.
quote unquote. Sorry, I'm talking to my. Yeah,
No, it's fine.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
I want
Yeah,
to.
so-
I want to answer your question.
yeah.
And as you were speaking, I realized that there is very significant point that you've made that I need to clarify it. Now, when I was talking, I said that they have a category of licenses. Now, obviously, these licenses are available to.
When I was talking, I
If
said that we have.
Peter, have you finished asking your question? Because of the echo, I need to.
No, his TV came on.
I can hear you still,
Yes.
brother.
If you can mute your
TV.
TV or the.
It's muted.
feed,
Yeah,
yes.
it's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So when I mentioned 10 million turnover and then I mentioned 5.1 million asset, what I said is that anything below that all the way, because the threshold is anything below that all the way to, let's say, 100 or whatever. Because obviously, when you are, last time when we had this discussion, we said that when you employ a skilled worker, they expect you to pay that skilled worker at least £10 and 10p per hour. That's one of the requirements. Okay. So what I said there, I didn't intend to say that you must have that business with that level of asset or turnover. But the category, the threshold is that anything far below that will qualify as a small business. And those who have far beyond that will qualify, because we have multinationals who even do intra-company transfer of employees. Those companies have large turnovers. But what I'm saying that right from zero all the way to that figure, this is the category that they put them in as a small business. And all those businesses within that category are entitled, and I even said that nursery, who need childminders, they all come under that category. So you don't have to have that level of asset or turnover before you can obtain the license. Obtaining the license is just simply ensuring that your business, if it's required to be registered, is registered, and then you also satisfy the suitability requirement. For example, you don't have unspent conviction, you have not had a license that has been revoked within a year. If you have to pay your taxes, your taxes are up to date. That's all that is required. And that particular job that you want to allocate to somebody is genuine and exists. So let's say I have a construction company and I've been doing work for people and I need a surveyor. Then I can get a license to recruit a surveyor from Ghana because I'm already trading as a construction company. And that doesn't mean you have a 1.5 million asset, please. Is that clear?
That's clear. That's clear, boss. No worries. It's along with the flow. That's it. So thank you very much for the
You're welcome.
conversation.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
yeah,
calling.
all right.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, tape for you go so I train ama yenya a new caller no. Mr. Thomas, you be busa say is there any updates of the new law? Yetu ya obi anya free. New law no update bi o ma. Ye train caller no betimi akeka kire se bia. Say yes, mamu say COVID ye be de be na ekoso. Ni na ye hu because go for people so mu say sa uba 220 or say 210 na na eje no. Ye be sanse akoso aje ala.
Okay,
update bi o ha so ka kire
update when I'm sure say most of us are already aware say the 19th, which was Monday, was Freedom Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I even did a topic on that 18th
yeah.
about your employment right. And the reason I did that because I know that come September, the coronavirus support scheme, which have been subsidizing pay or wages of employees, is going to come to an end. And until nkofo people onoma omotifie na yetu omo kanga kakra adwuma no kwa bia na aseri ba employer no fi say oh so buy into ade a memfa ma na tona fi nti sa nkofo no say sa September no ba na che say sa scan fi ono ma employer no tumi ntua oka obeka se bia ada so be you edi ana so be you redundant so nti se bia wa adwuma na cha ni na no ye wo certain rights are
okay 1 minute
will
be free. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, me pacho bodin neck bisa question, or if it's English,
yes.
Mention your name and tell us what's the reason why you're calling.
I'm going to speak. My name is Coffee. I'm calling from the United States of America, specifically Texas.
Oh, thank you.
Thomas has been a friend to me very much.
Oh.
We all grew up in Ghana. Anyway, I want to ask him a question concerning employment. If an employer wanted to employ someone in the UK, is there a law that requires that the employer finds the employee within the United Kingdom first, and if he's not able to get it before he will be able to, look for any employee from any other country? So that's my question.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. Yes, it's a very, very good question. Now, last week when we did the skilled worker visa, we said that in the past there used to be what they call labor market test.
Yeah.
Now the labor market test was, in my view, was very discriminatory because before employer could recruit somebody from abroad, that job needed to have gone to either a British or EU national. Of course, they are no longer they no longer have that right. So that labor market test existed, and it was a hindrance to employers in their ability to recruit across board. But that has been abolished. So under the new immigration rules, which is why we are creating this awareness, there's absolutely no requirement that you need to allocate a job to somebody in the UK before you can allocate it to somebody abroad. Mere existence of that position and that company haven't obtained sponsorship licenses entitles that company, as I said before, to allocate sponsorship certificate and recruit that person from either the US or Ghana or Nigeria or any part of the world. So there is no requirement of that nature that exists, but it used to exist in the past. Yes.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for answering my question. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, lawyer Atina, because actually callers no. We were talking about update on
Yes.
the new law.
Yes. So as I was saying, sometimes we need to prepare the public for most of these eventualities. And as I was saying that in September, this support scheme will be taken off. So when that is taken off, obviously employers that are struggling, they will accelerate their job cuts, which means that a lot of people will be laid off.
Yeah.
So when somebody is at a workplace and is being laid off, one, either they can reduce that person's hours. If he's doing full-time, they can say that person should do part-time. Or they can make that person redundant. Or they can even dismiss that person. Or they can even change the contract of that particular employee. So I was saying that when you are in that situation, you have a right. And your right is, for example, if under the law, Employment Rights Act, if you have worked for employer and you have not caused any problem, or you've not been found to have caused any problem at the workplace, an employer so decides that they don't need your service, then you are in a redundancy situation. Now, under those circumstances, the law requires that you should be paid redundancy pay. So you don't just walk away. I've seen people who the employer will say that, oh, we don't have any work for you, just look around if I can find any alternative role. If you can't find anybody, then we can't help. That's wrong.
Yeah.
They need to pay you off. So if for whatever reason you find yourself in that situation, contact your lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer, you want to contact City Law Solicitors, who will be here to help. The only advice I want to give is that when it comes to employment law, you see, most times it is the employers that control the whole process. They provide, when we go to the tribunal, they provide the bundle for the hearing. They provide all the evidence. And most times, if you start having problem with the employer and you don't seek advice, you are fighting with a giant, because that employer may have an HR department. Those people are trained and well versed in employment law. So most times you'll be able to work their way out and then get rid of the person without the person being able to claim any compensation. And that's why when people are having problems, it's always advisable that you contact a lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer and you contact us, we'll be able to give you the advice right to the stage where, for example, if you have to be made redundant, then we can fight for you to get a redundancy. Some of them, they are even made redundant, and then they may even ask that they are going to pay them off. They call it the settlement agreement. And sometimes the way it's drafted, most of the entitlement may be taken off. I recently had one in my office when I challenged the employer. Of course, that person may even be watching or viewing, and then they came out all sort of reasons. So these are some of the things. You need to look for a lawyer and not just forfeit your right at the workplace.
Okay. So yeah, that's it. Then maybe say we free Ghana and baby Eba start 210 and as yet it's about 170 now. Even though they say COVID no fan say yeah chem kakra no. Still that's the Canada so how you be saying here.
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, most of those tests are said I've just heard that those coming from amber countries, even that they have a list of countries. So most times you have to check the Foreign Office website. They have the list of countries there that will be able to tell you whether that country is in amber and whether or not you have to do the test. Because even France, when you go into France or coming back from France, you have to self-isolate. So it doesn't matter where the country is. The best place to get that information is go to the Foreign Office website, and then they have the list of the countries that will give a guide about that. But to the best of my knowledge, all of us are aware that it is the only thing that is no longer enforceable in law is face mask and then social distancing, which then allows people to go to the club and all kinds of places without restrictions.
Okay. Yeah, I think say I try colors now. Today I had just a few colors and meaning say but will be my person can to end the whole program.
Yes, I want to thank everybody for being available to watch this program. City Law Solicitors, I always say that it's not just about the money. We are here to create this awareness, to conscientize people to be aware of their basic rights. Because it's only when you are aware of your basic right, that's when you'll be able to stand up to those people who want to abuse you or those who want to tread upon you. So we are here to create this awareness every Thursday. We are here. I think
okay, there's a caller.
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Irene. I've just got a quick question.
Okay.
Can a new business employ someone from Ghana using like let's say projected income? Is that possible?
Yes, if you want to make application, you can. It can be a new business. It depends how your business is established. As I was saying, if it's a company that you have just registered it, if it's a company, obviously you are aware that you need to register it.
Yes.
If it's a regulated business, for example, you need to have regulatory certificate. So it depends. So once you have all these things in place, I haven't seen anything in the guidelines that say that a business should have been existent for a certain period of time before you can apply for the license. But the point is that this position you are seeking to fill has to be genuine, it has to exist,
Yeah.
because sometimes the Home Office can visit to ascertain whether the business actually exists. But as long as you have fulfilled most of the requirements that we have discussed in this particular, during this particular time that we have had this discussion, as long as you meet all those requirements, then even if you're a new business, you can entitled to still apply for that sponsorship license. But the advantage for businesses that have been in place for a while, because obviously they are well established, their tax records are easily to establish, they are probably been able to register. If it's a regulated business, they have a license for the for the business, and probably they would have had all these things in place. But if you're a new business and you have these things in place, then you are not precluded from making that application.
Right, okay. And my last question is, the person you employ, do they have to be like high, or can, for example, like if you have a care home, can you employ a support worker, or does it have to be like someone in a managerial position?
Yes, they have codes for all the. For example, if you under the skilled worker category, they have codes. Now they have those, for example, who are degree nurses. They have managers, even estate agents who are managers. They are all included in the list. So if you want to make that application, you need to check the list, the code, and then find out whether that particular position is in the code of the list of positions that are eligible to apply under the skilled worker category. And
Okay.
if you need help and you want us to assist you, or if you have a lawyer that wants to assist, I'm sure they'll be able to look at the position and then look at the code and see if it fits within that position.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Thank you for calling.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay, lawyer, not okay. Oh, there's another caller.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have another.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, we've missed it.
Okay,
Okay,
so
let's try.
Can you hear
Oh,
me?
you
the
said
person is on it.
yeah.
Hello.
Hello, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, like, I own a care agency,
Okay.
and I just wanted to know how I can bring, like, carers from outside the country. Can I be able to do that, like, outside UK? Like, let's say Nigeria, Ghana,
Yeah.
or any place.
Yes, as I was saying, they have the list of obviously in the care organization they have managers, they have nurses. So whenever you want to make application for, first, as I've said earlier, you need to have a license, sponsorship license. That sponsorship license is for the business, so that will be for your care company. Now, then the next stage is that, do you want to allocate the certificate to somebody that you want to fill a role in that particular organization? So if you want that person, if you want to recruit, for example, a nurse, a resident nurse for the care business, then we'll check the code, look at the eligibility requirements, and then you'll be able to allocate it. If she fulfills the requirement, you'll be able to allocate it to that particular position. So there are numerous list of positions that falls under the scale worker. I will not be able to just tell everyone, but when you are in a position to make that application, we can check the code and then look at it whether that position falls within that code.
Okay, that's fine. So it's just for it can work for both ways, not just nurses, for anybody actually.
Yes,
That
for
we want to explore.
the skilled worker is for managers, it's for nurses, it's for IT professionals, it's for
Okay.
Doctors, pharmacists, engineers, teachers. Numerous positions are listed in the skilled worker category,
In skilled
and
worker.
therefore it is for one to decide which position that he wants to fill in that organization. That would depend on the
Okay.
kind of license that person will want to
Okay.
apply for.
Okay, that's fine. Do you know if the carer needs any qualification or certificate?
Well, obviously, if you want to open a care business, I'm sure they have the care commission. I'm not an expert in that, but I'm sure that, as I've said, there are some businesses that are regulated businesses. So if, for example, the care business is regulated by the care commission, then probably you need to get a care license. You need to get a license from the care commission. And then that means that you have satisfied the regulatory requirement. And then from there, you'll be able to then make application. Because you can't make application for leadership license without you certifying that your business is fulfilling the legal requirements of this country.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. So,
Yeah. Okay, yeah. As you were saying.
Yes, and he has just mentioned, what do you call it? He has just mentioned about care. I think I have just a short update for care workers, especially resident care workers. I even put it on my status.
Oh,
I think we
someone
have
is
another
calling.
caller, yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Your name and your question, please.
Yeah, my name is Eric Nyako, and I want to say something, please.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, what I want to say is I want to recommend city law solicitors to everybody, and Mr. Thomas is a very good friend of mine,
Okay.
and he has helped me and a lot of my friends. So I just want to say I appreciate him. He should keep on doing the good work that he's doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for calling
It's
today.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I'm flattered now.
Wama uti ai kesi yenye
Yeah,
sa.
I want to check. I did too. The truth is that I have a passion to
For
do
the
my
business,
best,
yeah.
and I always say, and people that are aware and know me, it's not just about the money. Whenever we are taking up a case, we are very upfront, and we'll tell the client everything that he needs to do, and then we'll do our best and get the best outcome for that client. Because it's sometimes God puts you in a position to be there to
help people,
to
yeah.
assist people. And if you don't assist people, then of course you may not be able to last in that position. And that is why we are creating this awareness for people who have businesses and perhaps may not even be aware that they can get a license and sponsor people that perhaps need job somewhere to come and do those jobs for them. Yes. So as I was saying, he has a question about care. I have a very good update for care workers. I'm sure some people may not like it. You know, the care. They have recently passed. They have the Health Care Social Act 2008. There have been some amendment which makes it mandatory for care workers to have the vaccine. So if you're a care worker and you decide not to have the vaccine, obviously, again, this is an employment law. I need to take my time to explain it. Previously, there was no law in place that mandates employer to ask the employee to have the vaccine.
Okay.
And therefore, if for whatever reason the employee says that he doesn't want to have the vaccine, then the employer might not be able to dismiss. But now this, especially for care workers, this has been passed into law. The two houses of parliament has passed it, and this will become a law within the next 16 weeks, which means that if you work in a care organization, or you're a resident care worker, and then you don't go for the vaccine and you challenge your worker, he might be able to dismiss you fairly, and you will not be able to take that person on, because it's now mandatory that these care workers or those who are working in care homes must have the vaccine. So this is an update for people working in the care homes.
Okay, so the other person will say, they say, "Oh, mom, we are Juma care homes now." A force says there will be a one vaccine.
That's right.
It is a anti-meal vaccine, dear. Only me, Juma, and a company no more Juma is betting ye in it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
Because that cannot law be any was there, so we Oko Sabaniano. But it's here specifically for care workers, no.
Send your care workers in a buboba.
And they said, a bounce we have met you for anytime be updated.
They said their care workers from Kwana.
Yes, this act is for care workers, those who are working in care homes, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Until I Thomas, I think say, and the Jumedi in the baby, yeah, that's it, baby. I think say, for now, there will be anything free be until you summarize everything.
Yes.
At the end of the day.
I want to thank everybody for watching us, especially those who have asked questions today. And for those of you who have also congratulated me for all that I've been doing, you've given me a huge challenge now, which means that I have to continue to do more. And I want to say that City Law Solicitors, we are here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Our host, Beyebenwo, is here to host this program. And then we'll also be giving you updates of the law. We'll be having these discussions every time we look into the law and see those ones that can benefit those of you that one reason or the other that you don't have papers, or those of you who may have problems at the workplace. Even those of you who have personal injury or clinical negligence cases, we are here to assist. Those who are going through divorce, or they have problem not having contact with their children under the family law, we are here to also assist you. And above all, if you have any problem and you want us to assist you in your civil litigation or commercial dispute matter, City Law Solicitors, we are also here to assist. And I want to say a big thank you for all of you who have joined this program today. God bless you all.
Thank you.